Here are the text instructions on installing the image to video tool that Stable Diffusion just released, or you could just follow along with my video that's coming up right now. Hey, Jordan here. Today we're going to take a look at this Generative-Models that Stability AI just released yesterday. Now, I tried to install it yesterday and I managed to get it working. I do see that they have new instructions down here for the installation, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to show you how to install it and get it to work like how I did. So before we begin, go to here to download the two safe tensor files here, and you could also download the ones for the SVDXT version as well. I haven't tried this version yet, but I installed both of them. I'll eventually test it out. Anyway, you could download them. You could go down here. Here's the links that you could click on to get to these pages. Here are my instructions here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the user directory. So now I'm in my user directory, and what we're going to do is I'm pressing Shift right click to open up the extra menu here, and then I'm going to open git bash here, and I'm going to type in git clone. I mean, you could just copy and paste, that'd be a lot easier. You have to right click in here. Control V doesn't work. And then press enter twice. Now I already have it installed here, so I'm not going to do it, but you would press enter twice and then it will be installed in your user directory here under Generative-Models. Now we're going to double click in here, take a look at our instructions. We're going to modify the streamlit_helpers.python file. So we're going to go under the scripts, and then the demo, and then the Streamlit. Let's move this over a bit so you can read it. And we're going to go to the Streamlit helpers.py. And I have it open here. And we're going to change the low VRAM mode to true instead of false. Because in the documentation they say you need 40 gigs of VRAM, which I have the RTX 4090 and I only have 24 gigs of VRAM. So we want to make sure that we set this low VRAM mode to true. Now, you're going to be at the top, so the fastest thing to do is just to do a search for low, and then you'll find it right away. So we'll just change this to true, and then we will save that. Okay, next we will take a look. We'll move the video sampling Python file to the main directory. So what I did, I just copied it. So I copied this and I pasted it in the main directory. All right, now that we pasted this here, let's go to create the checkpoint files. So there's no checkpoints folder in here. So we have to create our own checkpoint file in the main directory. So you just create a new folder. I already have it, so I'm not going to do it. And then you'll move your safe tensor files that you had downloaded and put them in here. And then next we'll go to the requirements, and we will open the PT2 text and the PT13 text. Now I have them open already in here. So I'll go to the P2, and we see this Triton 2.00. Now I think this is just for Linux machines. It's not for Windows, and there's like a special way of installing it. I asked ChatGPT how to install it for Windows, and it gave me an output. So we're going to do that in a later step, but for now we're going to delete Triton here, and then we're also going to delete Triton in the part 13, or the PT13. And then we'll save those. All right, and now let's see. Yeah, download the weights. So you've already done that. And we modified the requirements for both. Now we're finally going to open up Anaconda. I'm going to change the directory to Generative-Models because that's where we want to be and let's create a new virtual environment. We're creating a virtual environment because we don't want to end up messing up the dependencies for other programs that we're using. And it's just better if you mess up with this virtual environment, you could create a new one. It's a lot easier. Yeah, I didn't mention at the beginning, but you do need to have, first of all, you need to install git bash, and you also need to have Anaconda also installed. All right, let's create conda create new environment, gen model video. I already have 2, so I'm gonna name it 3 because I was testing it out. So I'll just create a third one, Python equals 3.10.11. Now I had to do it as 3.10.11 in the instructions. It says to do it at 3.10, but when I first did it at 3.10, it installed 3.10.13, which I was running into issues with some CUDA issues. So I went back and installed 3.10.11. Let's proceed, yes. All right, great. Now we're going to activate. All right, conda activate gen model video. You don't need to have a long name like this. You could call it whatever you want. Great, now we're in the virtual environment. Now we have to install a couple of dependencies. So I did this kind of in weird order because I was trying to fix it. So first I'm going to install the Triton for Windows. So it's this line here. So we'll first install this dependency. All right, great. Next we're going to install the dependencies from the requirements files. All right, next we'll install this one here. And then the last install. Great, and then now we can run it. Now I'm currently generating a video right now, and I don't want to run it just in case if it ruins it. All right, I'm back, and here's this little creature thing that I made here using the new image to video model from Stable Diffusion. So now let's continue to the next step here. So the next step is to use the Streamlit. So we'll put that into our Anaconda here, and then we'll press enter. It will start generating. You'll have to click allow, and it will open up a web page. Let's drag it over here. And this is the screen that you'll get. And I recommend sticking to the 576 to the 1024 sizes. The video that I made was 1024 by 1024, but I had like a very small time and it was like 9 frames. I can't remember exactly what my parameters were. But anyway, you could select which model you want. I've only tested the SVD, so that's the one that we're going to use here. So you can see that there's like this error here. Don't worry about it, you could still use it. So we'll click on Browse File. Let's just take a look here. So let's use this one here since this is the native format. So I'm not going to go too much in depth because I haven't really tested it out too much, but what I've done and I've gotten some results from is, keep these settings the same. The settings that you could change, the T is the number of frames that it will generate. So 14. So if you look at the T here and the frames per second here, for example, if I change this to 24 frames for the time and then I do this 12 frames per second, that means that the video is going to be 2 seconds long because it's going at 12 frames and we're generating 24 frames. So I will do 12 frames per second. This is what I like, and then 24 frames. It seems to be pretty good for me. It doesn't take too long to generate. The motion bucket ID, this seems like it's how much movement you'll get within the video. The other setting that's important here too, I am for here decode T frames at a time. Now, it's set at 24. I do 48, so I have the RTX 4090 as I mentioned before. 48 seems to be pretty fast for me. It takes about 5 minutes to generate. And then you click on sample and then it will start running. You can't really see how long it takes from this page. You have to take a look at the prompt window here. All right, it finished generating. It took about 5-6 minutes, pretty good. So here are all the different frames that you could see. It looks a little cursed here, but let's take a look. Oh no, that's the, that's a little bit of a bug, I'm guessing, is that it's playing the previous video of my other generation instead of the new one because I don't want to overwrite it. That means I'll go to the output folder, which under Generative Models here, we'll go to Outputs, Demo, Video, SVD, Samples. Oh boy, that's a lot. And then we'll take a look here. Yeah. He's definitely turning into something else, it looks like. And there you go. That's how you install the tool. Play around with it, write in the comments below on the settings that you used, and have some fun. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.